Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode with Conversations with Chris and Cameron. This is episode 7. How are you doing, Cameron?
I'm doing amazing. Good start to the week. Got some big news over the weekend and some fun stuff to talk about. So I'm living it up right now.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. We're going to be talking about Cam Williams and Jayden Quaintance. They both spoke to the media this week, so we're going to dive into what they said to the media and talk about, of course, Quaintance's injury update to see how he's coming along from his torn ACL, along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gracing the cover of NBA 2K26. Excited about that. I don't know how you feel about that, but very excited.
Oh yeah, I love it. I was hoping it would be him. I
Mhm.
didn't know if it would be because 2K sometimes just does
Mhm.
somebody random, but he deserved it and he got it, so it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, he swept basically everything this past year. So we're going to talk about this. But I think we also need to talk, of course, Matt Ponatoski, four-star quarterback committing to Kentucky football, but also baseball. So he'll be a two-sport athlete at UK. And then we'll talk about Jason Crow Jr.'s recruitment, taking a surprise twist right now, trending towards Missouri. And then finally, we need to talk also about Malachi Moreno's full court game winner in the team scrimmage today, which was crazy. And they also won some shoes. So we'll talk about that. So let's get into it. We're going to immediately talk about Malachi Moreno's full court game winner, though, today. It was insane. Colin Chandler went for the game-winning shot with about 2 seconds left. He missed. Malachi Moreno gets the rebound. And then Mohamed Diabate, he tried to go for the steal. He couldn't get it. And then about with 1/10 of a second left, he got the shot off, made it from full court, basically from the other free throw line, and won the Kobe 8 Venice Beach shoes. So that was insane.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was I think it was a 6 minute scrimmage that they had. It was an absolute nail biter. Tie ball game going into that final possession, and he ends up hitting the full court shot. And I did notice that Brandon Garrison definitely did not think he was going to hit it because he didn't even try to step up and try to block it or anything. But if we ever need, a full court shot at any point, we've got our guy.
Yeah, and I was thinking as well, if we need an inbounder at the end, give it to Malachi Moreno for him to do a full court pass to whoever.
Yeah, no doubt. That was incredible. That was wild. So that was a fun little Tuesday morning on BBN Twitter, just kind of seeing everybody excited about that. But and like you mentioned, Kobe A Venice Beaches, those are some of my favorite shoes of all time. Those are a re-release that Nike, I think it was last year they brought them back, but the winning team getting those, it was a little fun flair to summer practice in July that
Mhm.
Pope got to throw onto it. So that was super cool. And then seeing all the guys, get the shoes after
Mhm.
and I mean it was just super cool to see. Like that was playing for the shoes is just the best. That's awesome.
Well, you're more of a shoe head than I am for sure. Meanwhile, I'm like, just give me some shoes that are good and everything that I can get to like point A to point B. It's like me driving a car. Just I need a car that gets me to point A to point B perfectly fine.
Yeah, now those Kobe's are special. That was an old shoe that I loved growing up, and then they just brought them back last year with like the new Nike technology and everything. So it's a beautiful shoe. I love that shoe. But then now having this little twist to them was awesome to see.
And did he see who was so upset about not winning that game?
Now wait, who was it?
Walker Horn. Like they
Oh,
had to bleep out him cursing because of
yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, I feel for Walker there, man. I would be upset about that too.
Yeah, but and I've also find it funny, but Jayden Quaintance was also on the blue team, so he also got that award even though he wasn't actually practicing at all because of course he's still recovering from his ACL injury.
Yeah, I saw that in that interview. He was like, "Man, it was a great. He had to get his own pair because he was on the team.
Uh,
So that was really cool that he was able to get his own pair too.
but like I said, we just wanted to start out with that because it was just crazy to see that all over Twitter today, just everybody talking about that. And of course, Moreno, maybe he'll get some playing time this year and then shoot the ball, from near half court at the end of a game. Hopefully not him, maybe like Owe gets the ball to shoot the game winner. But if the score's tied up and he gets the rebound, then he can just go, oh.
Yeah, and I did see the NBA is actually trying out with summer league that they're not penalizing players for shooting it basically past half court as like the end of shot clock thing. So like maybe if ends up getting passed and Malachi Moreno, then he can just shoot those just for the heck of it because he's already hit it while they still count. So having that for college would be cool too, and then he can just shoot it without
Mhm.
anything penalizing him.
And I did see that rule that you're talking about with the NBA Summer League trying that out, and I honestly disagree with that. Like your whole purpose is try to get the ball through the goal, you know. So I just disagree with that. It should count against their shooting percentage. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think honestly, I feel like I might be on the other side of it. I think I might want to go with that rule because like it's so much more fun. It's an entertaining league. It's for entertainment purposes. Like these guys just never shoot, or they like
Mhm.
purposely wait till half a second after, and then they'll shoot just to like get it off and like see if they would have hit it. So I think like with that not being penalized, I don't think it should be like half court because those should still count. But I think if they could slide that back a little bit more and made it just 1/4 of the court doesn't count, then like I would like that. But yeah, I kind of like the rule. I think it would be a cool rule to apply to the NBA because there's so many times I'm just like, man, I wish they would have shot that. Or like, I think Jokic has hit a few of them like right before, but he's also hit a couple right after the buzzer.
Same with
Um,
Embiid as well.
yeah, yeah, there's been guys right there, so I kind of like the rule. I mean, I completely understand why people wouldn't like it, but yeah, I'm kind of on the side of let's move on and add that rule.
Well, like I said, the only reason why they're bringing that as a rule, in my honest opinion, is probably because of contracts with shooting percentages. Like players get an incentive if they shoot over this amount, and if they shoot that half court shot and they miss, it goes against their shooting percentage.
Yeah, that is true. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it would be a cool rule, but that's just from the entertainment standpoint of just like I just want to see these guys like the best basketball players in the world. I also want to see them shoot these full court shots that I've been shooting in my hometown church since I was a little kid. Like, I just think it'd be cool to see.
I hear you, and definitely if we're playing actually on a full court basketball court, I cannot shoot it from full court. Like I'll be lucky because I don't have the arm strength. Like I have that muscle, you know, but I would be lucky to probably be able to shoot it probably a little bit past half court if I got a running start, to be fair as well.
Yeah, I think I could probably do. I don't know. I could probably do free throw line without a running start. I don't know. I don't think I could go full though, two hands. I could throw the one-handed just like cannon, but yeah, I don't think I can do two hands from any further than 3 point or free throw line.
Yeah, from the other side.
Yeah.
But all right, enough talking about this. We're going to now talk about Cam Williams and Jayden Quaintance. They both, like I said, talked to the media this week, and we're going to talk about that. Williams and Quaintance, they've both been saying that practices have been energetic and competitive, and I'm excited to see what this year's team can do. And everybody's been just talking about raving personally about Trent Noah, who's been killing it apparently from practice with this and shooting. So everybody's been just talking about how great he's been. Cam Williams even talked about that, and I'm excited to see year two with Trent Noah. Like, it's going to be insane if he gets the playing time, and I believe he will. Like, I know last year Mark Pope wanted him to play at power forward, but I could definitely see him playing at the small forward position this upcoming year.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he's gonna be a guy that you're gonna have to put on the court at some point in almost every game. But adding to your point of talking about Cam Williams bringing him up, we thought it was kind of crazy, or at least I did, that Jalen Lowe was like, "Man, Trent Noah might be the best shooter I've ever seen." But now to add to it, Cam Williams, his exact quote was, "People say Trent can shoot, but whenever I finally got to see it in person, man, he can really shoot." And then he continued on to say, "Everyone can really just shoot on this team. It kind of gets hidden." He was like, Mo Diabate can shoot. Everybody can. But him highlighting Trent Noah once again adds to what an incredible shooter he's probably about to be in year two. Now that he's got a year under his belt, just the familiarity with the system, with the guys. He's going to be turning heads all season, just shooting wise.
And Williams also did rave about Jasper Johnson, who's also been away from the team. He's been with Team USA. Congrats on them winning gold. That's a big moment. USA under 19, of course, did that this past weekend. So exciting stuff for Jasper Johnson. And Mikael Brown Jr. for Louisville, he's been killing it. So he's going to be really great this upcoming year. I'm a little worried about that matchup, but I believe Lowe can defend Mikael Brown Jr., hopefully.
Yeah, no, he's a decent player, but they're little brothers, so.
Little brother.
We're never worried about it. It's just it's L's down forever. So, yeah, he's obviously really good, but I never thought I would see a fan base celebrate a missed dunk
I
more
know.
than I was mind blown. I was like, wow, they are really, really at a low point. It's sad to see.
And meanwhile, we were celebrating back in, I believe that was 2014 when Russ Smith went up for that dunk at the end of the game in the Sweet 16, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, or
yep,
round of 32. I can't remember, but he went up for that dunk at the end. He, of course, missed. And I remember all UK fans were like raving about that, saying, "You all lost to us in the NCAA tournament, plus your star player missed a dunk as well."
yeah, yeah. That was always fun back in the day. That was just clowning on them for every single little thing we had.
But speaking a little bit more about Cam, he says the team has been practicing every day and competing hard, but along with that, they've been also being off the court. They've been bonding, including playing video games, small trips, and movie nights. And I'm excited to see how this year's team can play because, like, they've been doing stuff on and off the court, and I'm just excited because they're building team chemistry currently.
Yeah, and you mentioned them growing and bonding and stuff off the court. I thought it was interesting that they noted. I didn't know who he was going to say. I had no idea, but they said like, "Who have you grown closest to?" or like, "Who have you gravitated to personally?" And he said Otega Owe, which I didn't expect, but he said it was because he kind of wants to be like him in a way. He
Yeah.
wants to succeed the way that he did last year. He tries to pick up on play style that he has that he wants to maybe add to his game, and like all these different things. He mentioned how strong he was and how physical he plays and stuff. So I thought that was really cool that he was able to connect with a guy like that for reasons on the court, but they also just mesh as friends off the court. So that was super cool. I didn't know who he would say, honestly. Like as soon as they asked that question, I was like, oh, I'm curious to see what he says. But Otega Owe being the one, that's amazing to hear.
And speaking a little bit about the relationship with the two, I know he's been pushing him, Elway has been pushing him to elevate all aspects of his game, also mirrors Elway's play style to apply to his own. And I'm just excited to see what Cam Williams can do because obviously he was known for being 3-and-D last year at Tulane, but I'm excited to see if he's able to, get the ball and take his man off the dribble and attack the rim. So I'm excited to see if Williams can build that into his game.
Yeah, if he can have a quarter of Otega Owe's driving and getting downhill, it's going to be absolutely scary because we've only heard a glimpse of how good Cam is going to be, shooting wise, defensive wise. He's got all the tools he needs. So if he can add a little bit of that Otega Owe to him, it's going to be scary.
You are definitely right about that. As for Cam, he describes his play style as a three-point shooter and a hard-nosed defender, but I believe he can definitely be better than that this upcoming year, other than being a defender and just shooting. Like I said, if he can start attacking the rim, and honestly, the one thing that Kobe Bryant this past year was able to cut in, like he finally realized when he could cut in for a dunk. Granted, there were picks to help him get into the paint, but I'm excited to see what Pope can do, and I'm hoping Williams can move without the ball and get some dunks like Brea did this past year.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. There was a lot of in his highlight tape and stuff. There was a lot of those type of like back doors or just filling their lanes correctly on in transition buckets and him getting a lot of dunks because he can get up for sure. So yeah, it's going to be really cool to just see how much he can expand his game where he's not just a shooter. And there's no better kid for it to happen to with how he has been with Big Blue Nation and how his dad is.
Dad,
It's going to be awesome to see.
could you imagine if Caden Lewis was at UK and his dad was also here? It would be
Man,
insane.
that would be wild. It almost feels like a fever. Like I kind of forgot that Caden Lewis was supposed to be like I keep forgetting like because that was literally. I mean, he was the roster was about complete by the time he was
Mhm.
committing or by the time he decommitted. But that would be a wild father duo though.
Yeah, it was a surprise. Could you imagine though, like, let's say Lonzo Ball's dad, or like, let's say if Lonzo Ball was still in college and his dad was also cheering on whoever. Like, could you imagine Lonzo Ball, Cam Williams' dad, and Caden Lewis's dad all together?
No, they'd have to have security on crazy style that game. It would be wild.
Yeah, that would be insane. I do miss LeVar Ball. Like, I just miss him being around in the media, but hopefully he's doing well. Like, Of course, I know some people did not like LeVar Ball back in like 2017, but I love LeVar Ball, and then of course I love Lonzo Ball's game at UCLA.
I know he just got like his foot amputated or something.
Yeah,
Like
I
yeah, like a few months ago or
few
something.
months ago, yes, but
That's insane. Now he
I
said that he could now finally play like Jordan with one leg and still beat him or something.
yes,
I was
I
like, this
remember
guy.
him saying that back in the day, but yeah, like that was insane with him getting his leg amputated. I do remember reading about that a few months ago, but like I said, hopefully the Ball family is doing well, but not to get off topic, but I do miss the Ball days, honestly, from back in the day, like Chino Hill.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that brother Alonzo, man, he's going to a contender, so maybe that man can get a ring because the East is
Hmm.
wide open with Tyrese being out all next
Hmm.
year, and Tatum will be missing a lot of it. Cleveland's right on set to get a one seed again, so
Hmm.
yeah, he's gonna be on a great team next year. So
Yeah,
good for Lonzo.
yeah, I like the trade.
De'Aaron's son. That's what we should always call him.
Yeah,
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox's son.
De'Aaron
Sweet
Fox
16
hung
game.
up in the Sweet 16, 38 points against him.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the Cavs could be really good this upcoming year with Lonzo Ball on the team. But now to get back on topic, the one thing I also did like what Cam Williams said was he's willing to do anything Coach Mark Pope asks him to do. And I love that about him. If Mark Pope tells him to shoot the ball, he will, because I remember also Cam Williams said that there's been a few times where he did not shoot the ball during practice, and basically Mark Pope got onto him and basically instilled the confidence, saying, "You have the green light. Shoot that ball. Like shoot it right now."
Yeah. Yeah, I like that he's got the green light, but yeah, like you said, him being able to just do whatever the team needs is going to be awesome. And I think it's going to only help his draft stock and everything because he's going to be able to show everything that he has to offer. Uh, the one thing that I was really looking forward to in these interviews was like I was just hoping somebody would ask him about the timetable of his commitment. Like he committed so early. I just wanted to hear questions about that. So when they asked him about him committing early, he said it was because he noticed there were seniors leaving, there were guys leaving, whatever, and then the play style would fit. He would just fit right in. So he didn't want to waste his time and let somebody kind of jump in his spot. But now, from his perspective, I feel like it would be so cool because he committed while we were still playing last year, and then he got to see this entire roster be built, and it's with him included in it. Like, it's not that he's like getting pushed to the side for any of these different guys. Like, he's still going to get his minutes, and it's so cool to just see him kind of like from this point, see what he's doing in practice and gonna see what he's gonna do in games. Like he deserves all of it. He's getting to play, wear that big blue on his chest, wear Kentucky across his chest. It's gonna be awesome. But I was really looking forward to that, just seeing like what people had to say or how they would ask about him like committing so early because he was just genuinely like insanely early on his commitment.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why he committed so early was he wanted to secure a spot so early because, like you said, had a lot of seniors on the team and he didn't want his spot stolen from him. So that was one of the reasons why he was the first commitment under Mark Pope for this past offseason.
Yeah, it was a very early commitment, but a much needed. I remember. Well, he also brought up like because I was one of them. I was like liking all those posts right away. I was like, man, what a big pickup. Um, but he right away he was like, man, people were tagging me and everything. I was just not expecting that. Like it was like a big wave of Big Blue Nation. But so that was super cool. I'm glad he felt the love right away. Being such a big pickup early on.
Hmm. And he also said that he didn't know much about Mark Pope before he committed, but now he sees generally how much he cares about players and building something great at UK. And that's what I love. Like Mark Pope really does care about his players. Of course, I know all coaches really do care about their players, but like I said, you can just really tell under Mark Pope that he emphasizes like players' relationship, making sure everybody's a team and that they can come talk to him about anything.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad he's got that connection with him. He also said because they asked him about also just the university before, and he had mentioned that this university has just put countless guys in the league, and that's his goal. He wants to be the next one. It's just under a different coach. But there's been so many coaches succeed and be able to put guys in the league here. So it'll be just cool seeing what his relationship with Pope, and what it means for him to wear blue and white.
And I'm excited to see what he can do because he also mentioned how this year's team can switch 1 through 5 if they need to. So I'm excited to see if Cam Williams can guard the 4 or the 5 or the guards if he needs to.
Yeah, I know it says he's only like 6'7" or something, but he looks like he's like 6'10". Like
Hmm.
in those pictures, like beside the other guys, like he looks absolutely humongous.
He looks taller than Mohamed Diabate as well, and Diabate is like 6'9".
Yeah, yeah, he looks huge. So I mean, I think he is definitely one of the few guys that you can definitely see guarding 1 through 5 right off rip. Like it's hard for me to see Jalen Lowe guarding. I don't know, just some big,
Mhm.
but the rest of the guys, I think you can definitely see that them guarding whoever.
Mhm. And talking about Moreno a little bit, because we talked about his game winner earlier in practice, but Ken Williams says that he trusts Malachi Moreno to protect the paint if he gets beat. So if a player goes around him, like he knows Moreno will be able to block the shot at the rim. And same with Jayden Quaintance once he gets fully healthy. And of course, we'll be talking about Quaintance in a little bit as well.
Yeah, that was honestly the biggest standout to me was how much he brought up Malachi Moreno's shot blocking. Like I hadn't really heard a whole lot. I mean, people have brought up Malachi, but there hasn't been a ton of talk about him. And
Mhm.
then with how much he praised his shot blocking and rim protection in general, I was like stunned. I was like, man, maybe this kid is gonna like be one of those guys you're just gonna have to put on the court defensively. Like maybe he won't bring a ton offensively as a freshman, but just the way that he talked about his shot blocking, it was incredible to hear. So I was very, very pleased and excited to hear that. With like you said, if somebody was able to blow by him or something, he knows that Malachi's back there ready to swat it out. So uh, yeah, I thought that was a really cool thing that stood out to me with that interview.
And what I find so crazy though about Mark Pope's offense, everybody talks about how crazy it is and how hard it's to run, but basically Cam Williams says it's just basketball with a mix of success, and he says it's pretty easy. I'm like, how is it easy to yourself? But of course, like looking at it from a fans' perspective, it looks pretty hard. And like against Duke, the Duke team, they had all freshmen and they struggled at the end to guard Kentucky's offensive sets last year. And like I said, Cam Williams says it's pretty easy to run Mark Pope's sets, and you rarely probably ever hear that from anybody.
Yeah, super high IQ kid because that being able to come in and pick it up right away at his age is
Mhm.
incredible. But um, yeah, I hope it is easy to the guys. But obviously, from our perspective, it looks pretty tough. And from these other teams that we played last year, it looks pretty tough because they've struggled to guard them. I mean, we put up 106 points on the national champions. So as long as it stays tough and hard to read from their perspective, from the opponent's perspective, then it'll be fun.
Hmm. You are right about that. And speaking a little bit more, everybody knows about Mark Pope's conditioning test and everything. And Cam Williams said he failed the first 2 weeks, but the third week he was able to pass it. So he's definitely happy about him passing the conditioning test because it's the world's worst. I mean, Mark Pope learned under Rick Pitino with that.
Yeah, no doubt. That did seem horrible. I'm glad everybody's asked in all these interviews about the conditioning test because we can only imagine how hard that is. But I do want to mention this is a kind of reference to like one of the first things you brought up about them bonding off the court, gaming or whatever. He did claim that he's the best gamer on the team. Do you believe that?
I don't know. I mean, he said he was pretty like certain about that. I mean, he was like, I'm even better than Jalen Lowe at Fortnite. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, Lowe said he's the best Fortnite player.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of good things about Jalen Lowe's Fortnite game, but he said he's never lost 2K, never lost any football game, NCAA or Madden, and then he said he's got to carry Jalen Lowe every time they play Fortnite. So I thought that was bold. That was a very bold thing to say,
Yeah.
because hey, they can prove that. They can stream that. They could go on Instagram Live or whatever and show the results. So it's a bold take from him, but I thought it was fun to hear him talk about that though.
Yeah, and speaking of video games a little bit, they also asked him what he thought his rating would be in the new EA college basketball game. Of course, he probably won't be in it because it's not supposed to come out until 28, but he was saying that he thought he would be in the 80s overall. So that's pretty good, pretty decent of him. And then he said, though, all of his shooting would be at 99 for sure.
Yeah, I liked how quick he answered that. They're like, "What would your shooting be?" And he said 99. Like
Yeah,
it was just no question.
no questions. I mean, if he's a 99, what would be Kobe Bryant this past year?
It'd be 106. It'd be something crazy.
Yeah, but we're going to talk a little bit about the teammates. Like we were saying earlier, Cam Williams had a lot of stuff to talk about the teammates. But what I found so funny about him talking about Mohamed Diabate, he was saying that Diabate he can't dance at all. Like every time they try to do TikTok dances, he stinks at it. And Cam Williams is like, I'm way better than him at that.
That was goofy, but credit to Mo for continuing to try through it all. So we still see all the TikTok comments or content from these guys. So
Yeah, and
credit to Mo.
I know last year was really big with like Lamont Butler doing a lot of TikToks and Trent Noah.
Yeah, Andrew Carr too. I still remember
Yeah,
the ones he was making.
I remember Trent Noah was like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like
He always did that one.
yeah. And then Brandon Garrison, can't forget about him. I'm ready to see his content this upcoming year.
Oh yeah, these guys are having fun though for sure. I keep seeing all these TikToks pop up
Mhm.
every time I'm on there. So
Yeah.
it has been cool to see them all kind of bond through all that too.
Yeah, but also what stood out to me whenever Williams was talking about Diabate, he was also, of course, talking about how strong he is. Everybody's been raving about how strong he is, so don't mess with Diabate. But what else stood out to me was he was calling Diabate very special and like a brother to him and how much he loved him. And that just meant a lot to just hear that from a certain teammate. And hopefully Diabate heard that from him.
Yeah, and that's all the right characteristics that you want out of your team leader too. So, yeah, those were awesome words to hear. But yeah, Diabate is going to be an absolute bruiser and a mess to play against this year for all of our opponents. They're going to all hate his guts for sure.
Yeah. And then we're going back to Lowe now. But Williams was saying that Jalen Lowe was the hardest to guard. Also talked about how fast he was, and maybe he's as fast as De'Aaron Fox or John Wall, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That's high praise. But if he can even be third, that is going to be incredible. If he can be right behind those two guys, that's going to be just lightning fast.
Yes, but and talking about Lowe again, but he was also saying that he always finds the open man, and Williams was like, if you're open and you're not paying attention, he will get upset at you. So I'm glad Lowe is trying to be the leader of the team, being the point guard. So I just found that funny that he was like, Lowe will get mad at you if you're open and you're not paying attention.
Yeah, that's what the PG is supposed to do. If you're open, you're not paying attention, you're ruining the flow of the game, ruining the pace. So, yeah, throw it at them. If they don't catch it, they don't get shot ready right away, then that's on them. So, yeah, I do like that out of the PG for sure.
And hopefully every player's now paying attention now.
Yeah, yeah, PG one's gonna get mad at them if not. So, I do love it.
Mhm. And then let's talk about Braden Hawthorne. Cam Williams had high praise about Braden Hawthorne, and he basically said that he has long arms, very athletic, he works hard, and he's the first player in the gym in the morning. He says that he gets in there at 7:45, and I believe he said practices don't start till 9 in the morning, so he gets there like an hour and 15 minutes early to just start to practice, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, this kid Braden Hawthorne has been such a mystery that is like the coolest mystery of all time because it's like every single week you hear something new about him. And it's like these, you'll see more of him in practice clips, more of him just in pictures from practice. And then, yeah, like you said, it's 24 hours with the gym. So then some guys are out late and Braden's the one that's first in the morning. Like that's crazy to think about. And then I think it was a couple days ago he had mentioned that like he's like I'm not leaving unless I'm getting drafted. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. That's an amazing quote. I love that.
Yes, and it is definitely an amazing quote, and I'm just interested to see what Hawthorne can do whenever he gets the time. I mean, eventually I could see himself being like a Kevin Durant or like a Brandon Ingram type player.
Yeah, super skinny. He's gonna have to figure out how to put some weight on because I mean, you definitely can't be that skinny in the league. There's only been a very select few, but you also can't really be that skinny in the SEC because it's super physical.
Mhm.
So yeah, he'll have to add some muscle and add some weight for sure, but he's gonna be absolutely incredible when it's his time.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see when it is his time, whether it be year two or year three, and then of course, if Colin Chandler does, perform up to expectations and comes back for his junior year, that'll be insane to see Chandler as well.
Yeah, that duo would be absolutely wild if we're talking next year. That would be a crazy duo.
Yeah. And Mark Pope, the big thing is just getting better in year two under him. So I'm excited to see the next step that Colin Chandler, Otega Way, Brandon Garrison, and Trent Noah all take for this upcoming year.
Yeah, that's my biggest like exciting kind of point that I'm looking for is just like, yeah, the year two thing. Like Brandon Garrison mentioned, even when he got recruited, they're like, we want you here multiple years, and just as a year two guy. So yeah, I'm just excited to see the jump that these guys are able to make because at BYU, at Utah Valley State, these guys all in their second year, third year, whatever, they took big leaps, and became just incredible players.
Yeah, and talking about confidence and goals for Cam Williams currently, he said he's the best shooter on this year's team, and he said he believes that Trent Noah is right behind him at number two. So that's high praise for him. Like he has the confidence that he feels like he's the best shooter on this year's team.
Yeah, and if Trent Noah is as good as people are advertising, then being better than him is going to be 50% from the field, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm just excited to see if he can shoot 50, 40, 90 this upcoming year. If Cam Williams can do that like Anthony Almanor did last year, that would be insane to do.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to just call it the Ansley at this point.
Yeah,
That's what we need to just call that, the 50, 40, 90.
yeah, the 50, 40, 90
I
club.
think he could do it though. He's definitely he's definitely the type of guy that can do it for sure. So I could definitely see it happening.
And then talking about Big Blue Madness, he said he plans to enter the 3-point contest, but he does not want to do the dunk contest at all.
Yeah, he was a little shady with the dunk contest too, where he said that there's somebody that is going to be doing it, but he didn't want to say who and didn't want to like he didn't give any information out. But uh, yeah, I can't wait for Big Blue Madness, especially with this group. Like there's athletes, shooters, there's everything. It's gonna be fun.
Is it the GOAT Walker Horn?
Yeah, it might be Walker Horn, and he's going in as the favorite.
Zach Toe.
Yeah, exactly.
But he also mentioned that he doesn't like to compare himself to other players, but we did mention about Kobe Bryant earlier. He also did sign his contract with the Phoenix Suns, so shout out to him. But he was saying that he compares himself to Kobe Bryant, but honestly, he doesn't like to compare himself to any other player if he can.
Yeah, shout out to Kobe wearing the Kentucky shirt while signing it too. That was awesome. But yeah, if Kobe Bryant is the comparison, you're gonna be a special player. I'm excited for Cam.
Yeah, so am I. And he was saying that he wants to be like or better than Amari Williams and Kobe Bryant, who of course just got drafted. Well, you'll definitely be better than Amari Williams with 3-point shooting at least.
Oh yeah, yeah. Amari was the just into the shot clock shot chuck. Like that was the only time he was shooting those threes. So Kobe's gonna be a tough task, but Amari, I think you can go ahead and
Yeah.
talk it in that you'll be better
Well,
at 3-point shooting.
well, Williams did hit that three against Texas. I remember that game. That was
Yep, I do remember that. That was mind blowing when he hit that one.
I know, I couldn't believe it at the end of the shot clock. But to wrap up a little bit more, talking about Williams, everybody's been voicing their concern about shooting this upcoming year, which I've also voiced my concern about that. But he's telling fans to not worry about the teams in shooting. Everyone's working overtime, whether it's players getting into the gym early or staying late. And talked about how Muhammad Diabate gets in there sometimes at 9 p.m. to just work on his game.
Yeah, I think this team's gonna shock people when it comes to shooting. That's been like the one thing that you can kind of point at that you could say this team doesn't have, but I think this team going to end up being a really good shooting team. Like I think Aberdeen's going to step up big time. I think Otega in year two is going to step up. Chandler, Noah, and I think this like offensive like the way that we play offense, I think it's just going to create more opportunities for guys to get wide open looks and get better looks at it. And everybody, if you look through the years of Pope coaching, everybody takes a step up in shooting once they start playing under Pope. So I think it'll be a really good shooting team by the end of the year. And I don't know if they'll hit that threshold that of threes that they're wanting to take every game. But I think it's going to be a good team though, shooting.
I agree with you on that, and I'm just excited to see what UK can do this upcoming year. And like I said, we might struggle at the very beginning of the year with 3-point shooting, of course, not against the bad teams, but like once we get against Louisville, we might struggle a little bit against them. But I could definitely see by mid-season or SEC play that we're firing on all cylinders with shooting threes and making them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, like you said, early on in the year, it might be a little bit of a struggle, especially where we'll be playing. We'll play in such a rowdy environment with Louisville, and then we'll be playing in MSG, playing in the Mecca. It's always a little tough to shoot. I can remember like numerous guys kind of being shell shocked right off rip. But yeah, I think by the time we get in SEC play, this team's gonna be lighting it up.
Hopefully we do better than last year once we got into Madison Square Garden because that Ohio State game was a train wreck from the start.
Yeah, that game is haunting. That game is terrible. That one hurts.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. But do you have anything else you would want to add about Williams?
I don't think so. I think we kind of covered everything. It was cool to see these guys, like especially Cam Williams. I feel like we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of his personality because he's kind of been under the radar this whole time. So it was cool to see him get in for an interview.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about Jayden Quaintance, and who knew that it could be so long of an interview with him from the media because he's not even playing right now. He's still recovering from his ACL injury, but the media, they had a lot of questions to ask him, and I think the first topic that we need to bring up was with him talking about his recovery from the torn ACL, and he basically didn't give the media any type of hope that he would be back at the beginning of the year. He just basically said he's listening to what the trainers and staff are saying for him to get back onto the court to being 100%.
Yeah, I think this is just like textbook definition of being media trained because I remember like a few months ago, I think it was Aaron Torres' podcast that he went on and he was like, "Oh, I'll be back for the season." Like he was just like right away. So even if he will be back for the season, I think definitely media people are like, don't say that. They're just like, keep it all just gray. Don't give any black and white answers. Just say, hey, I'm listening to the trainers, whatever.
Mhm.
Because I would imagine they, even if he is going to be back, I would imagine they don't want him to say that. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what I took away from it. I feel like he probably does have a timetable. They
Mhm.
probably just don't want him to say,
Yeah.
just because he doesn't have to. It's not necessary. But yeah, I think that was definitely the number one takeaway that I was looking forward to going into it. And yeah, he didn't give a necessary like date at all, but
It's
that
players
he
talk.
uh,
It's players talk.
yeah, yeah, political answers only out of Jayden Quaintance. But I am excited for him. It was cool that he said that he's been like over on the side taking notes, like locking in, being a player mentally, so that when he gets back to 100%, he'll be able to just hop right in and he's going to be well prepared.
Yeah, and like you said, he's been taking notes, but he's also been trying to learn the plays and the terminology that Mark Pope is using during practice. I just want to know what these terms that Pope is saying to the players, like what are these words that players have to figure out what he's trying to say?
Yeah, I don't fully know. I mean, like I feel like I know basketball at a very, very high level, but there's also I could go into like one like I mean even a high school coach's practice and the different terminology that everybody can use, like I could go in and not understand a word that they're saying. Like it would be wild. So I can't even imagine what this level of coaching is like. Like Pope's probably saying just the craziest stuff in the world. I would have no idea what he's talking about. So I am curious like what he kind of is saying to these guys and just his terminology in general.
Meanwhile, John Calipari was like, "Go, go, go."
Yeah, he had one word. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. But he said Quakens, he's been enjoying the energy and atmosphere of practice so far, even though he's not been practicing, but it's been mainly for him just trying to work getting his knee back to being 100%. But what I like what he said was he didn't dwell mentally and he just focused on his recovery as soon as he tore his ACL because he was like, I have the whole offseason to fully get back to 100%. And of course, if you don't know, he tore his ACL versus Kansas State after a push on a dunk attempt, he was saying.
Yeah, that was really cool that he said he never really got down, that he was just kind of like straight optimistic right away. He was like, I got the whole off season and everything to train, and then he was trying to figure out his next landing spot. But it was really cool and powerful to kind of hear him say that there was never a point where he was just down.
And just for him to be now just 18 years old, being technically he should be a freshman this upcoming year. Of course, he's a sophomore, but he is just so mature. He has a great mindset, and I'm just excited to see what he can do. But I love Jayden Quaintance. Like I said, I got to meet him one time during the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game for high school, and he's a big dude. Like I said, like Anthony Davis, he reminded me of, and he's probably like 6'9" or 6'10", but like I said, I gave him a little handshake or fist bump, and just crazy how big he is.
Yeah, he's a monster of a human. He has like massive hands, long arms, and it makes sense physically why he's such a good defender.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's going to be an amazing player here. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, and we're going to talk now a little bit more about Kentucky's front court, of course, with him, Brandon Garrison, and Malachi Moreno. I did not know this though, but he's been friends with Moreno since sixth grade, and I found that surprising whenever he said that.
Yeah, that is crazy. It is weird, like just to think about all his connections, like with Jasper, Malachi, and numerous guys that are actually just fresh off the NBA draft. Just because like he played against these guys, and he was also in this class that's supposed to be freshmen right now. So it's wild all the connections that he has. But it was crazy to think about him being like playing against Malachi for that long, and now they're finally teaming up
Mhm.
and playing with each other at Kentucky. So that was really cool to hear.
Yeah, and I think he also mentioned about Jasper Johnson. I think they went like 10-1 or 10-2 in like EYBL play, so that's great that they're already previous teammates and soon to be current teammates at Kentucky. So I'm excited to see what the two can do eventually on the court.
Yeah, that will be really cool. I think it was 10-2. But yeah, Jasper was also a really good recruiter once he entered the transfer portal. So he was getting them over right away. So it is cool that they already have that bond and that connection from being
Mhm.
teammates already on I think it was Team Thad that they played for on EYBL. But
Mhm.
and yeah, they've won a lot together too. So that's a very important feature of that.
And he also believes that this year's team could be one of the best defensive teams in the country. And he also mentions it's due to their length and rotation ability. Like I said, be able to guard 1 through 5, what Kent Williams previously said.
Yeah, it seems like every single guy kind of harps on that, where they're like, we could literally just be one of the best defenses in all the country. But yeah, Jayden definitely meant it. Like you could tell by the way uh, he was just talking. He was like, we could definitely be very very special defensively. Um, so I did like him talking about that because that's saying what he's already seen without him, the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, on the court with him. So it's going to be awesome once he gets out there.
Yeah, and another thing that stood out to me was he's been learning from Garrison and Moreno's motors and them being aggressive so far on the court. And I just love that. Like he's been asking Brandon Garrison for tips or advice because Garrison was previously, of course, at Kentucky last year, so Garrison knows the offensive scheme. So I'm just glad that uh, Jayden Quaintance is right now just being a student trying to learn the game while he's out currently.
Yeah, it is awesome. And there's not many guys I feel like I would rather have other than Brandon Garrison because I mean, he knows what he's working with. Like he's been with Pope for a year now. He's played around a lot of special guys and he knows what to do. So, yeah, I'm glad he's like kind of in his ear and talking to them all and just trying to learn as much as he can.
Do you think this could be one of the most physically imposing UK front court in years?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's just crazy depth. It's like mind blowing. Like every single time, I feel like we do like we talk about these interviews and everything. Like I feel like I not forget a guy, but it's like oh yeah, that amazing basketball player is like also on the team. Like it's crazy to me. And then front court wise, Yelovich isn't even in the States yet. So
Yeah.
like it's mind blowing that it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Andrea Yelovich once he gets to Kentucky to see what happens with him. But for now, I could see him probably being the backup for to Mohamed Diabate. And who knows, I could possibly be wrong about that. But I feel right now that Diabate would be the starting four.
But yeah, that's how I feel about it too. But I feel like Yelovich doesn't even have like a ceiling. I feel like he can end up being an absolutely insane player. I mean, he's playing against pros overseas, so yeah, I'm interested to just see kind of what he can do once he gets over here. But I would think he's probably the backup as of right now. But some people are higher on him than I am, so I don't really know. But he's gonna be a good player no matter what.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I mean, once he gets to the States and starts to practice, it'll be so exciting. It'll be just like Big Z, Stefanomir Ivicic, whenever he came out at Big Blue Madness, that was like the first time UK fans got to see him, other than UK saying, "Hey, Big Z is here." Like that was basically the first time people could see him in person. They were at Big Blue Madness.
Yeah, that'll be a legendary Big Blue Madness if that's Yelovich first time coming out. Kind of like if he gets here late and then that's kind of his like introduction. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, hopefully that does not happen because we don't want another Big Z situation if we can avoid that.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that. But
Yeah.
if that was his first time, then it would be an
Yeah.
awesome, awesome night.
And then, of course, Big Z's first time being on the court, it was insane. Just him blocking shots, went like 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 from the 3-point line to start out, and the behind the back pass to Antonio Reeves. I'm like, man, we're going to win the championship this year because of Big Z.
Yeah, I remember that night because with me coaching basketball, I was actually at Scott County High School that night, and I remember that Georgia game like it was yesterday. I remember having like guys were texting me, they're like, "Dude, is he just gonna go number one? Like, is this the best player of all time?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Dude, I mean, I don't see why not right now." Like, and
Uh-huh.
then obviously reality set in,
Yeah.
and it
Reality.
wasn't quite that,
Yeah.
but it was an awesome night.
Yeah, I was watching the game over at my friend's place, and as soon as he did that behind the back pass and Antonio Reeves made the three, we both basically slapped hands. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. What a first debut right there for Z. That was crazy.
Yeah, reminiscing on Big Z here. But back to Quaintance. So he was also talking about Mark Pope and his offense. He believes the way Mark Pope runs his offense is like NBA style with spacing and freedom. So I really love that. And he said that he's been just watching a lot of film from last year's team to see how he can actually be a part of UK's team. And he says he could see himself playing like Brandon Garrison last year, where he could easily be able to shoot the three or be able to pass the ball to get another player to score or something like that. So I'm just interested to see what Quaintance can do once he comes back fully healthy.
Yeah, well, it's cool to see him talk about kind of the speed and pace of everything,
Mhm.
with it being just similar to the NBA and everything. So it will be cool to just see him in that offense because he did play for one of the worst Power Five teams last year. Like it was not a blast to watch Arizona State offensively, but seeing what he can do with one of the best offensive minds in all of college basketball, it'll be cool to see.
Hey, he did say he likes players coaches. That's one of the reasons why he came to UK.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that when he brought up players coaches, you had to think about Bobby Hurley being the players coach, but it is cool to hear him talk about that. Just the fact that he like notices that and he takes it all that serious. That he's like, these guys have been here, done that, and so it's cool that he has that perspective. But Bobby Hurley will never forgive him. So
Yeah, we'll never forget him for sure. Uh, and then of course Quaintance, he obviously knows the main goal is to win banner number 9 this upcoming year. I like how every player just knows that as soon as they commit to UK, they know the goal is to win number 9 until we win number 9, and then it's to win banner number 10.
yeah, yeah. Then I don't know what to say because now it's time for nine, but I don't know what they're gonna say once it's 10. But yeah, every single guy has brought it up. Like it's been awesome to hear that they know the assignment and they know what the goal is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some slogans. I'm not
Win for 10. I don't know.
win for 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of anything for that. Maybe the next step so we can think of something for that.
Yeah, maybe we need to hold on just a minute, just because we need to get this nine first. Then we'll move on, and then it's time to win 10.
But the one thing that did surprise me though about Jayden Quaintance, and like I said, whenever I saw him in person, he just looked big, even though some may say he's scrawny and everything, but he said he never seriously lifted before coming into college, and he's now adjusting to that. I'm like, how did you not lift? Like, are you LeBron James? Because LeBron James didn't really start lifting until he got into the NBA.
Yeah, that was mind blowing that he was like, yeah, I never really lifted at all. That was crazy to hear about, but yeah, he's just one of those dudes that's insanely blessed for sure.
Yeah, and of course, right now, since he's not really practicing, he's been working on free throws, his shooting form, and he's just trying to get consistent now. And like I said, if he can get a consistent shooting motion this upcoming year and start to make threes beyond the line, it's going to be insane what this year's team can do.
Yeah, there's no limit to the ceiling of this team if he's able to shoot at all. Because I know last year wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but if he can shoot just a little bit better and make people respect that, it's gonna like space everything out so much more, and it's gonna be just awesome to see if he's able to shoot a little bit more.
And you know what I found so funny? Of course, he probably knows about the Anthony Davis and Jayden Quaintance comparison, but the first player that he mentioned that he watches a lot was Karl Anthony Towns, and he mentioned Anthony Davis second. He's like, Karl Anthony Towns, and started to talk about that for like 3 seconds, and then he was like, never mind, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony Davis is definitely the comparison because nobody. defensively, that's really the only guy we can really compare him to. So two elite defenders for sure.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the bonding though from Quaintance. What I found so funny, other than like they went bowling last week. If you saw any videos from that, that was pretty funny. It was just some of the bowling motions that people were doing, like granny shots at the bowling ball. That was pretty.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that was funny.
he also talked about how players have been staying at the lodge. I know last year a lot of players didn't stay at the lodge, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I want to talk more about Braden Hawthorne. Apparently, he's the leader on the mini hoops at the lodge that they have, and he just says it's super competitive with everybody there now. I just got a good laugh out of that.
Yeah, I do love a good pop a shot for sure. But it was funny. That was kind of the most like humor and most like open he was talking about that because they were like, "Well, where do you rank on it?" And he was like, "Oh, I get my own. Like, don't sleep." Like it was just funny. But yeah, I was kind of shocked that Diabate was one of them at the top. Like I don't know why that kind of shocked me a little bit, but Hawthorne being the leader is just fun because it's the new kid on the block. Like that's just really cool.
Got the long arms. Oh.
Yeah, he's probably just dunking all of them, honestly. Like he's probably not even.
Yeah, but another thing that stood out to me was he said that this team is a brotherhood with strong connections all around, and he believes that this team can play 1 through 15 if they want to. So, Walker Horn, you're getting some minutes this upcoming year.
Yep. Congrats, Walker Horn. He's gonna be starting games.
Yeah, starting games for sure, maybe senior night.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
But and then he also talked about his games that he's excited to play against. Of course, Louisville is one, but I'm surprised he said Florida.
Yeah, was he referring to Arizona State lost to Florida last year?
That's what I
Was
was thinking, or maybe he was talking about how Florida won it all and UK didn't. I know he said something to that extent. I know what you're trying to say, but it sounded like he mentioned that UK lost to Florida. But of course, we definitely beat Florida at Rupp Arena. That game was insane. I was there.
Yeah, I don't know why. No, yeah, they played Wake Forest in the SEC. Oh, wait, no. Okay, Arizona State played Florida.
Mhm.
And yeah, they beat them 83-66. So he was referring to
Mhm.
Arizona State because I did notice that he would always talk about um he would say like they when talking about Kentucky last year, like just because he was from the outside looking in.
Mhm.
But okay, so he did say like they got us last year.
Mhm.
So yeah, Arizona State lost 4 last year. So that makes sense on why he said that one. But that
Yeah.
was an interesting one for like being a second because like Diabate has the New York connection. So he said MSG. But there's just so many good games on the schedule. I was just kind of shocked he said that one.
Mhm. Maybe he wants to enjoy the weather down in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, maybe so. I don't know, but it will be fun to play them. They're going to be absolutely loaded.
Yeah, they're going to be really great. I mean, they got Xavion Lee from Princeton, then of course Boogie Flam from Arkansas. So I'm excited to see what their backcourt can do this upcoming year.
Yeah, they returned the whole front court too. So with Hand Lockton, Condon, and Hauk back, like
Yeah,
Chinyulu's back too. Like they're just going to be stacked.
yeah. I mean, that team could easily be like UK and Florida could easily be competing for number one and number two in the SEC, Alabama as well.
Yeah, Arkansas is going to be good too. Sadly, I hate that
Yeah,
they'll
because
be good, but we'll see. We'll see what they do.
SEC is going to be another great year. Of course, I don't think it'll be as great as last year. I mean, I don't think Auburn will be nearly as great as they were last year, but of course, like we mentioned, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, like all those teams are going to be insane.
Yeah, yeah, it'll definitely be down from last year because there's no way that it could be as good. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it'll be fun. Like the SEC is gonna be stacked, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm like I said, very excited. I'm hoping we can do better than we did last year. We went, of course, 10-8 in the SEC, and I'm hoping we can go more like 12-6 and or 13-5 this upcoming year, hopefully, or even better, 18-0.
Yeah, yeah, maybe so. I'm going 14-4. That's my prediction as of right now. I think we can do it. We have a very favorable home schedule. That's the one big takeaway. We should go undefeated at home. Obviously, that's gonna be really tough to do because it's a very tough conference, but we should go undefeated at home.
Yeah,
That's my big wish, and then handle business for
yeah,
most of them on the road.
yeah. I sure hope so because, of course, we lost to Alabama at home, and that game was close. And then, of course, Auburn just killed us. I was at that game, and it was not fun.
Yeah, that one was bad. That was the one that ended up turning off in the second half too,
Yeah,
for all of us not at the game. So,
yeah.
uh, which wasn't a bad thing.
And people were complaining. They're like, I'm like, why are y'all complaining? We're down 20.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. But hey, they got their karma. They pulled out that like belt after the game, and they got what they deserve.
Yeah, and they basically were awful after that. Granted, they did get to the Final Four, I believe, but of course they lost to Florida.
Yep. Yeah, they lost to Florida in the Final Four, but they got what they deserved. They ended up losing. So
Yeah,
maybe win with class next time, Bruce Pearl. But
yeah, maybe win with class, but it would definitely be interesting to see what the SEC does. Do you have anything else you would like to add about Quakens before we start to talk about other topics?
I guess the last thing was the quote where he said, "This is definitely the deepest team I can be that I've ever been a part of. I'm excited to see what we can do." When, like you said, everybody from 1 to 15
Mhm.
can really have a large impact on the game. That was kind of after he had said like we have a great chance to win number 9. So I think just that being towards the end of the interview, kind of recapping everything, like that was just amazing to hear. Like him saying deepest team he's ever been a part of. Like that's just
Yeah,
it's true, but it's also like cool to hear those guys like because it's mind blowing that this is like somehow a legal roster that these guys are all together.
yeah, and it's all because of the roster limit going up.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. It's 15 just absolute hoopers. So it'll be fun.
So now we're going to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Of course, it was announced that he will be on the cover of NBA 2K26, and it's been a massive year for him. He won regular season MVP, Finals MVP, NBA championship, signed a supermax deal, the largest in NBA history so far. Also got a signature shoe, and then of course now he's on the 26 cover.
Yeah, I'd say it's a decent year for him. Not a bad year.
Only decent, you all.
Yeah, yeah, not a bad year for SGA, but I think yeah, like I said, it was well deserved. I'm glad that he got the cover. I'll be buying this 2K for sure. But yeah, I like third Kentucky player ever to get it. I am kind of upset though. Like they in these recent years, they've not done very well with these 2K covers. So I'm kind of upset that it was kind of just boring. But I think D-Books was probably the last good one in my opinion, and that one wasn't even great. It was good, but it is cool that Shea will be on the cover though. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to get that game.
Yeah, of course, a lot of people are saying it was AI that made it the past 2 years. And then, of course, I saw a funny comment saying, why are there two Al Horfords on there and two Luke Cornett's?
Yeah, I did see that. I don't really know why. I don't know why they even made it like that obvious of who the team was. I don't know why they chose the Celtics out of, but I don't know. But
Yeah.
it was cool. It was really funny to just to see all the SGA haters kind of saying like, "Oh, well, he shot free throws right after this," or "I'm surprised he's not at the free throw line." Like, but all those people were just sad. It's just messed up.
Yeah, but shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course. He's the third player from Kentucky to grace the cover. The other two have been Anthony Davis and NBA 2K20. That was a great time just playing it during COVID. I played a lot of 2K during that time for sure.
Oh yeah, I did too. He was also on, what was he, 2K16? Was he on
Oh,
that
yeah,
cover too?
technically he was on that cover. I think
Yeah,
it was on.
KD and Steph or something.
Yeah, it was with James Harden and Stephen Curry. So I
Yeah,
completely
James
forgot
Harden.
about that. But thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, that those covers back then were elite. Those were
Yeah,
awesome. But yeah, I did play a whole lot of 2K during COVID. That
yeah.
got me through that time.
Good times. But the only thing I didn't like about the old covers was it was all red for the most part. Like I wish they could have chose a different background. But other than that, the covers were a lot better compared to today.
Yeah, no doubt. They're definitely better than what they are today. But um, yeah, those are just like iconic. Those red with the stuff faded around in the background. It was really cool.
I know whenever 2K14 came out with LeBron James, first time LeBron was ever on the cover, like I just lost it. And of course, the Xbox One just came out during that time, so I got the Xbox One for Christmas, and then I went out, got 2K14 immediately, and just started to play it. And that was probably one of my favorite games from 2K. And of course, everybody loves it because of the graphics from back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I think 2K20 might honestly be my favorite 2K. Like now that I think about it, like that might be my favorite one just because of time and place. Like it was just online every night with the boys.
Mm,
Uh, so that might be my favorite one. It's probably a very hot take, but I
Yeah,
love that one.
reminiscing on the good old days. Probably my favorites were probably 2K14, 17, 19, and probably 20 would be up there. Like just talking about that. But to get back on topic though, the other UK boy that graced the cover was also Devin Booker on the 2K23 cover, and sadly he hasn't won the chip. I was so hoping he would be able to against the Bucks whenever he had Chris Paul on the team, but they were so close. They were 2 games away from winning it, lost in six to the Bucks. Of course, Giannis got his first ring and could be his last as well.
Yeah, yeah, I wish they would have, but that was a really fun finals. That was a very forgettable one for a lot of people and a lot of NBA fans, but I loved that finals. I thought that was an awesome finals. I wish the Suns could have won it,
Mhm. I
but
thought I
they
thought
came up a little short.
after they got up 2-0, I'm like, this series is over.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, but yeah, hopefully Debo can get one at some point. I feel like the Suns are finally going to end up getting out of the Beal contract and
Mhm.
maybe get rid of him and then figure out something for the future.
Yeah,
Maybe he can end up getting one in his later days of his career.
yeah, hopefully for sure. We'll see what happens though. I mean, he is still young, so hopefully Devin Booker can get himself a ring eventually. And it'll be interesting to see also where Chris Paul ends up in free agency since he hasn't been signed anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like actually real, but I did see that somebody had put out that he had said that it'll be his last season. I don't know. I didn't see that like from his post, but somebody like put that out.
It was Jamil Hill that asked him that question. I saw the clip, and basically she just asked him how much longer he has playing, and he said probably this will be my last, basically.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
I mean, amazing career. I hope he goes somewhere where he can contend right away.
yeah, well, he wants to go back home to LA, so maybe he'll be able to do that.
That would be cool. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see him at least get a chance to win a ring finally.
Yeah. Hey, go to the Lakers, team up with LeBron, Luca, and DeAndre.
Yeah, yeah, finally get to the Lakers 15 years after David Stern wouldn't let it happen. But
Yeah. But staying on the basketball topic, we're going to be talking about Jason Crow Jr.'s recruitment. And basically, July 4th, Joe Tipton from On3 posted that he will make a decision on July 18th. And basically, all UK fans felt confident about that. They were like, we're going to get him the first commitment for UK because of the connection he has with Jason or with Hart, and everybody was so excited about that. But sadly, it doesn't look like that.
yeah, that was very shocking because I mean, it seemed like we were in the lead for a very long time, and then out of nowhere, Missouri just pops up, and he looks like he'll end up being a Missouri Tiger. But
Yeah,
I don't know how much weight there is behind Jason Hart potentially leaving and going there, and but that looks like it could be true. And if it's not that, it's a whole lot of money.
yeah, a whole lot of money. I mean, I did see your old tweet. Wildcat Tongue actually quote tweeted your tweet, and he was like, "Money talks," because Jasper Johnson basically interviewed Jason Crow Jr. and was like, like, what about UK? Like, why UK? And it's like, because Jason Hart is basically family to me. And of course, now it's probably money talking.
Yeah, money talks for sure. So looks like he'll be a Missouri Tiger, which will probably be a boring 8 months or however long he ends up being there. But he's obviously a really good player, so he'll end up being good wherever he goes, and he'll end up going to the league. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just
Mhm.
the only reason anybody would ever go to Missouri over Kentucky is just fat pockets.
Yeah, money. Hey, it
Yeah,
also helps with the revenue sharing now. So,
yeah, no doubt they can throw however much they want to at him, but
yeah.
it is just tough because we did feel like we were in a great spot for him, but as the days wind down, we're now 10 days away from when we're recording this. So looks like he'll be a Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, and like I said, a couple days ago, Joe Tipton reported that he believes Missouri is currently the front runner. And then, of course, today, on Tuesday, July 8th, Travis Branham of 24/7 Sports, he put in a crystal ball prediction for him to go to Missouri, a 7 out of 10 confidence. So that's pretty high if he's going 7 out of 10 on that. So he must really trust his source.
Yeah, Travis Branham, he's got a pretty good record too of his predictions. So I do expect him to be a Missouri Tiger, sadly,
Mhm.
but if anything changes, I mean, it wouldn't be stunning because all this changed in like 3 days. It felt like so.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting though.
I mean, it's all about who offers him the bigger bag. I mean, everybody thought Jayden Quaintance was going to go to Louisville last year, and then Arizona State came out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you a bigger bag for you to come here."
Yeah, then he made a wise decision though. When Bruce Pearl offered him like just a ridiculous amount of money, he's still committed to where he knows he's supposed to be. So I'm glad he didn't do that twice, where he just chased the bag. But
Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad that Quaintance came to Kentucky instead of Louisville, so else down, Bill Bros.
oh yeah, forever.
But we're going to end this podcast on a positive note. We're not going to end it on Jason Crow, and we're going to talk about football and very exciting news. Of course, Kentucky football and baseball. They landed the four-star Matt Ponatoski from Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's a big get. And as long as he stays committed to UK and doesn't go to the MLB draft, it's going to be a big get for Mark Stoops and Nick Mingione.
Yeah, I can't even put into words how excited I am for this commitment. Like this is absolutely amazing. Like it's everything I could want, really. I hope he ends up staying committed. He said his goal is to get drafted in both sports, so he wants to end up going to play both. And there has been guys recently. John Ross Plumlee played both. Kyler Murray got drafted in both. Like, there's been guys do it. I don't know how possible it really is at this point because he may end up doing Jameis Winston type thing where he plays baseball until he becomes the starter or whatever. But he's going to be amazing in both sports at the college level. So, but this kid is just special. Like this is a massive commitment. Hopefully, he ends up at Kentucky. Um, but I don't know how the full NIL thing works out with baseball and football, but
Mhm.
he's going to get paid. But it's also an incredible recruitment because we beat out Alabama, Oregon, and Arkansas, who has gone to the College World Series numerous times. So um, it's like an insane recruiting win, and it's a guy from Ohio that everybody thought when Vince left, it was done with Ohio. Um, there's just like no words that I can even like say to talk about how exciting I am just about. It's just an amazing commitment. It's just a crazy, crazy big win for this staff to land this kid, and he's going to be special by the time he gets to UK.
And we'll hopefully have maybe Mark Stoops still around. We'll see. I mean, he is motivated this upcoming year, and hopefully he can prove the fan base wrong this upcoming year, and we get 6, 7, 8 wins.
Yeah, he's been very, very quiet, so we'll see what happens here. But um, yeah, this kid's gonna be amazing. I hope he ends up making it here, whether it's with Stoops or without him.
Mhm. Yeah, and like I said, it's a big gift for the Kentucky football program, and we'll have to definitely see how the quarterback room looks in the near future. Of course, it's Zach Calzada's final year, so hopefully he can go out with a big bang. And then after that, we'll have to see who's going to be the quarterback next year. It could be another transfer, it could be redshirt sophomore Cutter Boley, or it could be Stone Sanders. So the quarterback room is going to have a lot of depth, but maybe they'll have to go after another transfer after this year, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, I know Adam Luckett of KSR was reporting that the plan is 1,000% Cutter Bowie next year. And then even this year, if things kind of go to crap, they'll turn it over to Cutter early. But then after that, it's just an absolute battle, and Ponatoski could win it after that. But they do plan on Cutter being the starter next year. So I thought that was interesting that they already have like this future plan laid out. But I mean, this is the kid that was Gatorade Player of the Year,
Mhm.
Mr. Football as a junior in one of the best states in the country for high school football, and then Max Preps Ohio Player of the Year. Like this is an elite quarterback that I feel like he's gonna end up playing and being a really good player
Yeah,
overall by the time he gets to UK.
yeah, and I'm excited to see what he does. Like you said, he's probably going to try and go play pro both in baseball and football, but I'm very excited to see what Matt Ponatowski can do.
Yeah, and a baseball player, he's what is he? He's like top 20 as a prospect right now, but
Mhm.
he literally the craziest thing to me is like he's thrown 97 miles per hour as a shortstop to first base, which 97 is impressive in the MLB. Like O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, like those guys throw 97 plus, but like that's the top of the top biggest arms in the infield in all of the major league. This guy's hitting 437 as a junior
Yeah,
and
it's
throwing 97 miles an hour. Like he pitches, he plays short. He's mind blowing.
mhm. Yeah, and like I said, just to see him. wear UK and just talk to the media during his commitment day because I think he threw like a little commitment party at his family's place, and it was just nice to see him wearing the blue. And he was like, "I need to play both sports because if I don't, I'm going to be bored in the winter time. Like I have to have a sport for the fall and the spring."
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, I did note this too. I think it was on three that ended up putting this out. I remember seeing this a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. But he was at the Elite 11 event. For those of you that don't know, that's like just basically all the best quarterbacks in the country. They go out, and he was the most accurate quarterback there. That's mind blowing. And if
Yeah.
you watch his highlights, you can see it. So he's got an absolute cannon for an arm. He's not the biggest guy, he's 6'1", 195, but he's got an absolute nuke for an arm. He can make any throw on the field, off balance, on balance, anything. He's incredible.
He can throw that spiral too.
Oh yeah, big time. He's his highlights are incredible. But I mean, last year as a junior, he had almost 3,500 yards, 56 touchdowns, and three interceptions. So it's not like he's careless with it. Like
Yeah.
the numbers just are mind blowing. But I don't think this is a not that Cutter Bowley's been disappointing, but I think Cutter Bowley is more closer to Drew Barker than what we were hoping.
Uh-huh.
And not that that's a bad thing at all, but I think Ponatoski is just different. I think this guy, there's some stuff that like you can't make up. The numbers, the winning. I think they lost in the championship last year. They were 14-2. Like
Running up.
this guy just wins.
Mhm.
Like he's an amazing player, but it will be interesting to see if he ends up playing both sports. Because like I said, I don't know if it's necessarily possible, but Wawa Jones is really the only one that's ever done it successfully. And I mean, I don't know. There's been guys try it since then. I
Mhm.
think Tim Couch and Dennis Johnson both had basketball jerseys made for him at some point by Bill Kitely, but they didn't end up playing, obviously. But
Mhm.
he's going to try to do something that nobody has really been able to accomplish at Kentucky.
And be successful, like you said.
Yeah, and I mean Wawa Jones, he was as successful as it gets in both. He also played baseball too, which I did not know until I looked it up the other day. But
Mhm.
he's got a retired jersey in football and basketball, and he played for arguably two top five coaches in the sport, Bear Bryant in football, and then Adolph Rupp in basketball. Like what a career for Wawa Jones! But now to see a guy try to do that in 2025 or 2026 when he'll get here, I
Mhm.
don't know if it can happen, but I hope it can because he's going to be special in both, and
Yeah.
it's a big time commitment for both sports for sure.
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't declare for the MLB draft as well, because he could do that right out of high school as well.
Yeah, I just hope that they don't kind of lure him into that because there's been a lot of guys that said they plan to do both and go to college or whatever, but then they see that MLB money and they throw them a whole lot of money on that draft night and
Hmm.
they end up just going MLB. So I hope that doesn't happen, but nonetheless, this guy just picked us. It's absolutely insane. It's going to be. I think it's legit going to be the biggest QB commit that we've had since Tim Couch. Like it's high praise for sure. And this is a technically an out of state kid. I know
Yeah.
Cincinnati's basically Kentucky, but
Uh-huh.
it is technically out of state, and he's at a legendary program in Moeller. So it's going to be awesome. I'm so happy we got Ponatoski.
Yeah, and he still has one more year left as well, senior year, so he still has plenty of time to compete on the field with baseball and then of course on the diamond, or on the field with football and on the diamond with baseball. And I'm just excited, like you said, he's the biggest, the largest.
Yeah, yeah, fact. No, I might try to get up to Cincy this year for a game. Honestly, I know they play Trinity, which I'm from around Louisville, so like I know what Trinity brings. So I might try to go for that game or one of the other games just to go watch this kid because he's just absolutely special.
Yeah, and then of course my girlfriend's parents live up there, so maybe I can be like, hey, can I like crash at your all's place so I can see Matt Ponatowski play?
Yeah, yeah, you got to,
Yeah.
especially if you have a reason to already be up there. You got
Yeah.
to go watch him play.
And then, of course, he also mentioned that in the interview with the media that he said his parents can come to any game that they want to since it's only a few hours away. I think it's what, 2 hours, hour and a half, so something like that. So his parents can go to any game they want to at home in Lexington. So that'll be exciting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's honestly part of what I think that played like a massive role in this commitment too, with the location being so close, and then you also get the SEC baseball, SEC football. Like it's the best of the best in both conferences. So being that close and you get those, it was just a no-brainer for him. So I'm glad we locked him up though. It's been quite the recruitment for a long time, and I never got super hype about it because I was like, somebody's going to come in real late.
Mhm.
Alabama's going to come scoop him up. Georgia, somebody,
Mhm.
but he's a Wildcat.
Yeah,
I'm happy about it.
he's a Wildcat until he decommits, and then he'll be officially a Wildcat if he signs his national letter of intent in November.
Yeah, hey, he'll be here.
Yeah,
I have full faith. He
I
ain't
have
going to decommit.
I have a lot of confidence as well. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Cameron?
I don't think so. I think I'm good, but I do love that the media keeps getting these like two interviews a week. I love that it's just like two because
Yeah,
it's perfect for us to be able to talk about. But who are we even missing as of right now?
I think
Like I
we're
feel like
Hawthorne, Walker Horn, we're missing. Let's see. Trying to think of who else we're missing.
I
Uh,
mean, has BG done?
Brandon,
BG's done one, right?
I don't think Brandon Garrison has done one, has he? I don't think so.
I don't, maybe not.
Yeah, but
But yeah, I mean, we've flown through them. There's been a lot of
Jasper
them done.
Johnson hasn't done one yet, so once he gets back, hopefully he'll be like the next one up.
Yeah, his will be awesome. Can't wait for his.
Yeah, Colin Chandler, I don't think has done one, so probably
Oh,
like
he hasn't.
yeah, probably like more of the bench will start to get eventually. So Colin Chandler, Trent Noah, Brandon Garrison, and then of course Braden Hawthorne and others. So I'm excited to see who's next up come next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But I think that's all I got. I think we have talked a lot so
Yeah,
far on this
over
Tuesday. So
another hour-long podcast, everybody. Woo, woo, woo.
there there we go.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the support because our past two podcasts has gone a few hundred views, and we weren't expecting our last podcast to go crazy as it did because we didn't even have a guest.
Yeah. Hey, I hope people are enjoying the podcast. So
Yeah.
even without the guests, we're just enjoying talking Kentucky sports.
Yeah, and we're working on getting some guests, but we appreciate you all watching. I know we've dove a lot in episode 7 with Cam Williams and Jayden Quaintance talking to the media, Malachi Moreno's insane game winner, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being on the 2K26 cover, and then of course big recruiting news with Kentucky football and basketball. But we appreciate you all watching, and we'll be back here next week unless there's some breaking news during this week's, but hopefully not. But we'll see you all next week.
Yep. See y'all. Thanks for tuning in.